Hi everyone, Laura Wilson from Gold Star Work here. Today I'm going to show you how to do this wet on wet method to make a galaxy, and we're going to be painting this one. But you can see some examples of some different ones that I've done. So I'm going to show you how to make this one here. In another video I'm also going to show you how to make these ones with the brighter colours. So let's get started. So first off I'm going to draw a circle, and I've just put the size that I want my circle to fit in because I'm going to be making a card out of this one, so I want to make sure my circle's not too big for it. And I'm just going to trace around a circle. You can use anything to make a circle. And then I'm going to get my brush with just some plain water on it, and I'm going to wet the whole circle. So my circle's all wet now. You can see the water. Right, and then it's just a matter of choosing the colours that you would like. And I'm going to start off with some pink. And I'm just going to drop some pink in. And then I'm going to get some violet. So that pink that I used is Permanent Rose. And the purple I'm using is Purple Lake. I'm going to get some Phthalo Blue. All my colours are fairly watered down. And I've made a little bit of turquoise using a phthalo green and phthalo blue and putting plenty of blue in it. And it makes a nice turquoise colour. And then I've made a dark blue using Prussian blue, and then I've mixed some of the violet, the Purple Lake, into it to make it even darker. And give it a bit of a purple hue. I'm going to put that round the outside. And I'm just going to let the paint do whatever it wants to do. And I'll drop a few bits of that dark into the middle as well. And I've also made a really dark colour here that's almost a black. So I'm just going to drop some of that in too. On one of my other YouTube videos I showed you how to mix colours in acrylic paint, and although this is watercolour, the same principles for mixing the colours are the same. So I'm going to show you how to make this black without going through all these stages here. On the chart here We made the black by mixing the green and the purple together from the dull secondary colours. So the green was made with my warm yellow and my ultramarine blue, and the purple is made with my bright red and my ultramarine blue. So I just need ultramarine blue, my warm yellow and my warm red to make the black. So in this case we'll be using a brilliant red, ultramarine blue and a cadmium yellow. First of all, I'm going to make the green, and then I'm going to add in the red. So I'll get some of my yellow, my ultramarine blue, and I'll make that green. Just make sure you can see that colour there. So I've made that a darker green. Now I'm just going to add some of the red into it. And what's quite likely to happen at first is it might go a bit brown, which is exactly what it's doing. So you can see that's gone a brown colour, and that just means I need more blue in it. So I'll just add more blue. And I do want to make this quite a bluey black because it is a space picture. So I'm going to add quite a lot of the blue. Now it's still looking a bit greeny to me. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that. I might get a bit of paper so you can see what it looks like. So it is going grey there. But I think I want to make it even bluer. And that's the thing about mixing your own darks. You can decide exactly what colour you want. Now I'm liking the look of that a lot better. So you can see how dark that is now, and if I put some extra water in there so you can see what colour it is, you can see that's a lovely bluey grey with the extra water. So that's how I made that dark. I'm going to just tip my paper up. I'm going to let it run a little bit. I'm going to get my clean brush and I'm just going to mop up the bits that are puddling where there's too much paint. You can see how that makes some nice effects on there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my salt. This one's just normal table salt, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on there, and not all over. I've made my pink go in a sort of pattern here, so I've put my salt to echo that, and I'm also going to use some rock salt So that's much bigger bits. And while this is wet, I'm going to use some white to sprinkle some stars on. So, got my white paint here, and I'm going to water it down. And I'm going to use a fan brush for the initial stars. And I'm just going to sprinkle them on here. And because the paint is still wet, they'll spread out and diffuse a bit. So this is just the first lot of stars here. So try and lift that up so you can see what it looks like so far without all the salt falling off. And also what you can do, if you find your stars that you've put on aren't diffusing, you can just get your mister bottle of water and just give it a little spray, and that'll diffuse out those first lot of stars. Salt on there is all dry, and we can take that off. I'm just going to use my finger and throw that in the rubbish. So you can see the patterns that the salt makes on there. So the next step is to do the next lot of stars. And for that, I'm just going to get some of my paper towels, and I'm just going to rip them to make jagged edges so I don't have any straight lines. So I'm just ripping them up. I'm going to decide where I want my stars to go. And I'm just covering up a little bit of my space pattern. And then I'm going to get my fan brush again and my white paint, and I'm just going to flick this on here. Now I'm using my fan brush initially because I want some big stars, and I find that my fan brush makes nice big stars. And then I'm going to shift to just a stiff bristle brush and using the same white paint, I'm going to flick that on, and it makes much smaller stars. I might want to concentrate some of the stars in certain places. So this is where it's completely up to you how you want to do it. Also depends on how watery the paint is. So I watered the paint down a bit more then because it was a bit thick, and now I'm getting bigger stars with this one. Now if I want some even brighter white stars than that's going to give me, I can get some of my titanium white acrylic paint and do some stars with that. Now you want this to be your last thing that you do on here, because the acrylic paint and the watercolour paint doesn't really mix together very well. So you can do the acrylic on top of the watercolour, but you can't do the watercolour on top of the acrylic. So we just want some big white ones with the titanium white acrylic paint. And when I take that off, you can see there's a bit of a pattern in the stars. Now I don't want too much of a pattern, so I'm just going to diffuse some of it out a little bit. But it still makes a bit of a pattern, enough to so the stars aren't just randomly everywhere. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I also wanted to show you that you don't just have to make round galaxies. You could make all different shapes like stars and hearts and ovals, clouds. You're only limited by your imagination. Next time, I'm going to show you how to do some galaxies with a slightly different method, and you can see they're a lot brighter in colour than the last ones. So if you want to make some brighter coloured galaxies, I'll show you how to do that next time. Happy painting, everyone!